بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Can you hear me?
وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام.
Okay. Great. Um, so this is obviously our second class. We started last week, and it was all some kind of introduction to the course, what the course is all about. We engaged in conversations about what children's literature is, spoke about, we kind of checked a number of boxes, obviously. Today, inshallah, we're officially launching or starting the course, and we're starting with Tom's Midnight Garden. If you still remember, I had to kind of stop the conversation and allow you the opportunity to kind of read the novel on your own so that I don't spoil the experience for you. So I'm hopeful that you have done your homework. Of course, I don't mean literal homework. I mean, we agreed on the fact that you guys are going to try as much as you can to read the original text. And if you couldn't for some reason, but you tried, obviously, you would grab a decent summary so that when we talk and when I say something, you can kind of connect the dots. So let's see who has done that. Who of us has read? Yeah. Give me a show of hands first, and then we go to individuals. So if you have read, if you have tried to read the novel, raise your hand. Again, I'm asking a very simple question. Have you tried to read the novel? It's Tom's Midnight Garden that we're doing.
I have not read it, but I listened to the audiobook.
Excuse me?
I have not read the book, but I've listened to the audiobook because I couldn't find the text.
Okay. So at least you have tried, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Somebody else was saying something? Go ahead.
Doctor, this is my first class because سجلت متأخر يعني.
ما فيش مشكلة. What's your name, Rana?
أيوة.
Yeah, I can recognize your voice. I mean, I think I taught you way back, right, yeah, Rana? Did I teach you like
أيوة
B
أيوة.
or yes? Okay.
Yes.
أهلا بيك. Okay, who else? عمر.
أنا
Okay.
بعد دكتور مسجلة متأخر فهذا أول كلاس.
That's fine. That's fine. Nada, that's fine. Omar, you
I
wanted
just
to say
read
something.
the beginning of the novel.
Okay. طيب. Okay. So in the interest of time, like, no, yeah, obviously we're not focusing with us here, Sadim, last time. We said that we're starting with Tom's Midnight Garden, but that's fine. Well, we still have time, but perhaps the focus would be more on the scholarly articles. The focus would be more on the secondary sources because I have to kind of divulge the secrets about what the plot is about so that you can have a storyline that you can relate to and connect the dots through. Okay, so in very simple terms, even before we proceed, I would like to share with you the fact that I'll create a resource folder for you so that you can find the sources, whether those sources are primary sources or secondary sources. So I'm going to create a shared resource folder and I'll send you the link. So where can I send you the link? Of course, I can send you emails like I did when I first introduced you to the course and welcomed you. But I think having like a WhatsApp group would be easier for easier access if I want to say something quickly, if there is a notification that cannot wait. So I need somebody to create a WhatsApp group for us. Who can do this for us? WhatsApp group. I'm not going to create a WhatsApp group. I don't create WhatsApp groups. Okay.
Okay, I will do, Doctor.
Yeah, please. Okay. Thank you, Omar. If you can do it now, so that we can give the link to our other colleagues, that would be fine. Again, we need the WhatsApp
All right.
group for easy access, for, I mean, quicker access, like I said. Um, so this is out of the way, creating a WhatsApp group, having a resource folder where you will have all the primary sources. And of course, by primary sources, I mean the original texts. For example, Tom's Midnight Garden, I have the book, a soft copy. We can share it with those who don't have that. The other, of course, the other primary sources, the Tale of Peter Rabbit, Voices in the Park, and the Roll of Thunder. So I have all the original copies and I can always share them on the resource folder that I'm talking about. So you need a link for that or to that. Again, the WhatsApp group is our, you know, easy access uh, facility. Um, what else do I need to talk to you about? Again, when we do stuff, we need to keep in mind, yeah, the WhatsApp group is already created by Omar. Thank you, Omar, so much. Guys, go and have yourself be part of the group, join the group. Can you add me to the group, yeah, Omar? You have my number, right?
Okay, Doctor.
Yeah, please. Okay. So again, this is a quick reminder. Omar has created the WhatsApp group, the EA300B WhatsApp group, and you need to join the group. Okay. So I was talking about the resource shared folder, and I said that I'm going to divide that into two categories or two sections. You have the primary sources section and you have the secondary sources section. So what do I mean, first of all, by a primary source? Primary source is the text itself. So if we're doing Tom's Midnight Garden, so the novel itself is what we call the primary source. If we're doing the Tale of Peter Rabbit, so the book itself would be the primary source. Okay, so and then you have people talking about that, writing about the novel, about the book, about a poem. This is what we call secondary sources. Secondary sources are, articles and pieces of research on this or that novel, on this or that book or poem or play. So you will have those sub folders within the main resource folder that I'm talking about. So primary sources, where you will have Tom's Midnight Garden, The Tale of Peter Rabbit, and the other two books. Secondary sources will have all the scholarly articles and essays on these different books. Um, okay. Another very excellent resource would be my YouTube channel. I have, I think most of you know that I have a YouTube channel, and I have archives of recordings of the course, and of course other courses. And I'll share the link so that you can always go either to consolidate the learning that we do in class, or perhaps prepare by listening to stuff before you come to class. And what is interesting is that I have started way back to kind of create AI generated explainers based on my classes and my recordings. So you can have the whole 1 hour and a half recording, and you can also have an explainer that would take like from 5, 7, 8, perhaps more minutes. So that can consolidate the whole experience, and I'm sure you're going to like it and find it fun. Please remind me to share this before we go. So this is procedural. Let's talk about.
Sorry, doctor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you share your number because I couldn't find it?
Okay. Okay. I did.
Yes.
Yeah, I shared it on the chat, in the chat area. Okay. So again, I was talking about those procedural issues. Let me now address myself to the assessment and how we are going to go about doing it. So assessment means evaluating you. And how many marks we're promising you? It's 100 marks, like you know the setup, because you were not born yesterday, and you have been with us for quite some time. This is perhaps your graduating semester, or perhaps you have like a couple of semesters ahead, which means that if you have gone that far, you know how we assess you. So you have 100 marks, and they are divided over a number of assessment instruments. How many? We have what we call in-class activities. We have MTA, midterm exam, and we have a final, and we divide the 100 marks over them, which means the in-class activities are out of 10. The in-class activities are out of 10, and we also have a quiz. We call it second quiz, and this is out of another 10. That makes them 20. And then you have the MTA, which is out of 30. And then you have the final, which is out of 50. So when you put them together, you have the 100 marks that we promised you. So how many in-class activities will you have? You will have between 7 and 8. And they are, last semester they were 7, and this semester around, I think they will be 8. How will we do them? You will do them online. Online means that you will, well, I mean, yani pretty much we're starting them perhaps next week. So you will be, you need to know that every week you will have an in-class activity, which is a couple of questions. You answered them for perhaps 5 minutes, and that would be it. Okay, that's between 1 and 2 marks, nothing big. So this is the 10 marks. So you have 8 marks for the in-class activities and 2 marks for engagement and interaction. Okay. And then we move to the second quiz. The second quiz quiz is something that we do in the university. You have to come to the university, and then you have to do this 10 mark writing exam. It is essays that you write. We normally give you two essays or two essay topics, and we ask you to write on one of them. So this is the second quiz, and it's out of 10, and it's mandatory that you come to the university and do it here. And then we move to the MTA, which is out of 30, of course, and it's going to cover Tom's Midnight Garden and the Little Peter Rabbit, and yeah, pretty much, yeah, these two works, and it's out of 30, and also it is campus-based, which means that you'll have to come to the university and do them. And then we go to the final, and of course, you know that the final is out of 50, and it normally covers everything we do. Last semester, we only skipped Tom's Midnight Garden, but the rest were there. We'll talk about that when the time is right, inshallah. So this is how we are going to assess and evaluate you. 100 marks. You are graduating. So I think you need every single mark, and you need to work hard for that. And I promise you, yeah, and I'll try to be as flexible as I possibly can. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, but you need to exert sufficient effort. Okay, this is evaluation and assessment, and it's now out of the way. If you have any questions on those procedural issues that we have addressed before we proceed to substance, go ahead. Yeah, Reem, go ahead.
Doctor, I just entered and I didn't come in the last week lecture because I enrolled this subject last week. So can you
That's
tell me
fine.
what you took last week?
How
And
long have you been with us? You've been with us for the past 15 minutes?
No, sorry, I overslept after my alarm.
That's fine. You mean you came just now?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. You have the recording and you can listen to the recording, and then next time we will repeat. And by the way, we have a master class today, this week. Okay, so in the master class, typically we answer all those questions and a lot more. Okay, so you haven't missed much here, Reem. Okay,
The master class, which day?
it's on Thursday at 3 p.m. inshallah.
Okay, if you can send the lecture link, because I didn't get anything.
Okay, the link is, if you can access, can you guys access the what? The LMS, the course page? I'm asking everyone. Do you now have access to the course page on LMS? This is not a philosophical question, ya Jama'ah. Yeah. Yeah, you can. If you can, go to the page and you will find the link to the master class. Again, we're going to put it in the WhatsApp group for everyone. Yeah, Omar has created the group, and yeah, mashallah, 15 people already joined. Yeah, Reem, we're creating or we have created a WhatsApp group. Go to the chat area and you're going to find the link. Join the group so that you can receive, notifications and links and everything in between. Okay. So now that we have uh, spoken about the assessment and about the shared resource folder and the WhatsApp group and the YouTube channel. And let's now go to the novel. Okay, so before we go to the novel, let me just announce the fact that the university is conducting, I don't know whether to call it a trip, or a trip or a tour to two destinations. And I would like you to join one of them. So it's given or offered at a very reduced, subsidized price. We have a trip to the future and we have a trip to the past. And you have the choice to join either. So who is going to go with us to the past? Raise your hands. Okay, so Reem is going with us to the past. Who else? Reem, because I have to take down the names so that I can give it to the administration. Nobody else? Are you sure?
Could you please explain again what this is?
Okay, so I'm saying that the university is organizing two trips to two different destinations, one to the past and the other is to the future. So would you like to go to the past or to the future?
Are there any more details?
Yeah, just tell us يعني in principle من ناحية المبدأ whether you're joining for the future or you're joining for the past. Mm.
Doctor, where can I find the box?
Not now, not now. Focus with us.
Okay, sorry.
Sadim. But Sadim is going with us to the future. Yeah. Mm. Rana passed. Okay. Omar passed. Okay. Reem passed. Tasneem future. Saleh future. Ahmed. Ahmed, is your name Ahmed?
No, actually, it's Ahmed.
Ahmed. Okay, Ahmed. So what did you say? Did you say past or future? Yeah.
I said past.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let's talk to those who are going with us. Lana, obviously, they are a majority. Let's talk to those who are going with us to the past. Let's listen to what they have to say about that choice. Why did you choose the past? Yeah. Come to the mic and share.
Can I answer first?
Yeah, what's your name?
Reem.
Yeah, Reem. You chose the past, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I'm scared for the future. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really have plans. Also, if I have plans, it's it's probably not gonna work. So, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I want to come,
You
like,
feel comfortable in the past? You feel that the
yes,
past is more secure?
yes. And I had like the best days of my life in high school, and when like in the first days, first years of college, and I had like
You
the best friends. So yeah,
you love that. You love those memories, those fond
yeah.
memories, the happy old days.
Mm.
That's yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Thank you, Reem. Yeah. Yeah. Who else? Come to the mic. Why the past? We're focused now on the past. Those joining the past.
Because everything is beautiful. Because everything beautiful is in the past.
Okay, so according to Rana, everything is beautiful. She's harking back to the happy old days in the past. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Mm.
For me,
Yeah.
doctor, is the amount of the friends that I had before. So
You
I
mean
think I prefer to go to the past because I had so many friends. But
you miss
now,
them. You miss your
yeah,
friends. Yeah, from the past.
but everyone
School
have
friends.
own rule.
Yeah. You're trying to say that as we get older, the ability to make friends becomes perhaps less, right?
Yes, yes, of
Mm,
course.
okay. Okay. Past reasons why people would like to join the trip to the past. Yeah, come to the mic, share يا جماعة. Open up. That's fine. Share.
Doctor, can I speak?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going, but I would like to discuss. I think it's an interesting topic.
Excuse me?
I'm not going to the trip, but I think it's an
Yeah,
interesting topic to talk
yeah,
about.
but come with us, yeah, Mariam. Why don't you come with are you joining the future trip?
No, 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 I'm not going.
You have to go somewhere. La, you have to go.
Is it
Come with us to
mandatory?
the yeah, I mean you would like to talk about the experience, then that's so why if yeah, I know that you may not come. So if you had to choose the past, why would you come with us to the past?
Because what we have today is like pretty advanced. So, and we already know everything that's happening in the future, and might
You're talking
also.
you obviously didn't hear me well. We're talking about the past. Would you like to talk about the past or the future?
Sorry, past.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so I think the Victorian age is an interesting era in the
I
past.
mean, so you'll go to the, if you decide to go with us to the past, you're going to choose the Victorian age to go to, right?
Yes,
Okay, nice. Yeah, tell us about that age. You think
it's
it's
really
beautiful and
elegant.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
elegant.
elegant, and I love their morals also.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I love another era that's also in the past
Mm-hmm.
where like there were farms and there were trees everywhere.
You miss that, right? In
Yeah,
our modern societies, we don't have much green, right? It's not
yes,
green over there, right?
yes, I think it's
Mm,
pretty.
yeah, very pathetic, right? Very
Hmm.
sad. Mm,
Yeah,
mm. Okay, Mariam, thank you so much. So again, those who
Welcome.
are going with us to the past, let's talk about the different destinations. So people normally go to the past because those were, according to them, happy old days. They had or they have fond memories. Grandparents going to the Dira and the countryside, enjoying the taste of pure, uh, um, simple kind of food, right? The past can also represent models. I mean, you have a role model, you have perhaps a figure that you look up to in the past. It can be historic, can be religious, right? It can be a whole era or a whole age that you look up to. For example, at one point, Muslims dominated the world in a positive sense, of course. And obviously, Arabic was spoken all over the world. Arabic was the lingua franca of the world because of the advancement that we had in science and other branches of knowledge. So perhaps you're harking back to that uh, part of our history as Muslims and as Arabs. Yeah, that can be a reason or a compelling reason why you would like to go to those happy old days because we don't have them anymore, obviously. It's very sad. These are different reasons. So, do you have somebody in the past that you're looking up to, a historic figure, a religious leader? I'm asking the people of the past.
Um, I do,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's from a story. It's not a
Yeah.
historical figure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a story I read that's
Mm-hmm.
talking about the Native Americans in the countryside,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just talks about the adventures there and the challenges they face. I think it's interesting, and it gives me a lot of inspiration.
Yeah, it can be also heartbreaking given the fact that they are no more, right? Native Americans, right?
Yeah, yes, but
Mm-hmm.
in my country, it's there is something similar to that also.
What's your country, by the way?
I'm from Lebanon.
From Lebanon. Okay. So tell us what is similar and what is different. Because you said that there is a link. So, I don't see the link, but I would like you to yani, show us the link. We're
Uh,
talking about Native Americans, if I heard you correct, right?
yes,
Okay. What's the link?
it's like the countryside. So we
Mm-hmm.
have mountains and we have farms also, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really far away from the cities.
Mm-hmm.
So we have like bees, they beehives, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
we have really
You're
we
missing that. You're missing that, yeah, Mariam, right?
yeah, we make
Mm.
everything also from scratch because we have cows and everything.
Nice. A very,
Cheese.
very vivid image that you're portraying for us, mashallah.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Yeah, Rana wanted to say something, or Reem, I don't know.
Checking in.
I just said for me because I love watching more movies that I just want to live the atmosphere of the film set like Victorian
Oh.
era.
You mean you see stuff on TV or in the cinema about the past and the scenery, and you want to live this, right? You want to live through those
A very
experiences.
very beautiful era.
Mm, nice, very good. Okay, so we have spent too much in the past. Let's move to the future. So, people of the future, why? Why did you choose the future? Saleh, go ahead.
I always look to trying something new and learning new experience.
Nice, yeah. So that's why you're trying to explore the future. You want to know what is going to happen ahead. It's this sense of curiosity that is driving you to the future, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. With AI, I think the future is now. Uh, okay. Sadim, come to the mic and share with us. Yeah, let's have Noura. Go ahead, you know.
I didn't choose, but if I had to, I think I would choose the future
Hmm.
because most people tend to look at the past with like rose-colored glasses. I think nostalgia
Nostalgia.
takes over.
Yeah. Yes. They
Yes,
shed
yes,
they shed nostalgic tears over the happy
yes,
old days.
exactly. I think
Which is
maybe the
something that
events,
you
yeah,
think
the
this is
events
it.
maybe are
Let
worse.
me finish my line of the. You think this is escapist, right?
Yes, I guess.
Yeah, go on.
I think things can be worse in the past than we say they are in the future. just
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of time has passed. And so
Mm-hmm.
you don't remember how exactly you felt or how things went down in the past. And so going through that would, I think it would be like significantly disappointing to
Mm-hmm.
see that it wasn't how you imagined it to be or how you
You mean
felt that
it?
it was.
You mean the past is not all honey and milk? There are also
Yes,
sad and tragic and traumatic chapters in there, right?
yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's not that you're opting for the future. You're just you just don't want to go to the past, right? So the future is not your
Yes, I mean, you
choice.
get to see the future anyways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's interesting. Somebody else wanted to say something. Come to the mic.
Yes, may I?
Yeah, yeah, Fatma, go ahead.
Yes, I am curious about the future because
Mm,
I have lived the old days somehow since
mm,
I am 40 and something.
mm,
And I have made some mistakes, in my
mm,
opinion, and I
mm,
am looking forward to make them better, to make my life better. So
mm,
that's why. Other thing that my colleague shared that all the people want to live in the past and remember the good things and happy days, but obviously they don't remember the sad and hard days. So that's
mm.
why.
Yeah, you mean it's yeah, and it's not like I said, it's not all beautiful stuff. There are other tragic and sad chapters of whether
Yes, yes,
on
exactly.
the يعني on the personal level, on the regional level, on the world level. We're talking about wars. We're talking about invasions. We're talking about personal traumas, right? Childhood, sad childhood memories, because obviously
Yes,
we
we
were
have all
not
that.
all, yeah, we didn't all enjoy happy memories in the past. I mean, some of us had sad childhoods. Okay, so
Can
again,
I
we're
add
talking about,
something?
yeah, absolutely. What's your name?
Reem.
Reem.
Okay, one of the reasons also I want to go to the past is AI. Um,
Mm,
when people like used to write, especially writers, like they had creative mind. Now I feel like exactly in the future we're gonna lose that because of
yeah,
AI.
you mean
Writing books and
losing.
novels.
Yeah, this is sad because I am a writer myself and I can see it coming. Human creativity is at a very dangerous crossroads, if you like, where it's very sad. And
Yeah,
if we talk about it more, that would bring tears to my eyes because it's, I mean, human talent when it comes to writing took hundreds of years to form. So to have that all gone and we all uh, be hostages to a prompt, that's sad. But don't get me started on that, Yarin. Okay, so obviously, when people talk about the future or they opt to go to the future, they don't go there because they want to know about the future. Obviously, they are escaping the present and even the past, right? Again, I don't want to go this way. I would like somebody to tell us, to come to and tell us that they are genuinely interested in the future because the future is the future because they have good plans. They want to see themselves in perhaps 20 or 30 years from now, how they will grow and scale up, what kind of ambitions they will have achieved and fulfilled. So I would like you to be more optimistic. Leave the pessimism to us. We are already old, and you can adapt. This is perhaps the difference between you and us. We are so set in our old uh, ways because we're old, right? But the idea of adapting is not easy for old people. But mashallah, you guys are young. You can adapt to the new realities. You can learn this and that. See? Okay. So this was a thought experiment that I wanted to start with you. It's very strange that I haven't heard Mariam. Mariam, Mariam, where are you?
You mean me?
Mariam, Mariam Ali.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, no, you didn't go anywhere, neither the past nor the future.
Is this
Are
like an
you,
actual trip
are you,
or
are you,
just a
are you,
hypothetical?
are you stuck in the present?
Actually,
Yes.
that's true. I'm actually very stuck in the present because I'm very busy with my training, my studies,
Mm,
so I'm afraid I won't
mm.
be able to join either thing.
So if it's hypothetical, because I said that this is a thought experiment.
Ah, if it's hypothetical, I'll definitely join the past. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more of a nostalgic person.
Uh-huh. So what kind of past, which era, and what kind of time are you and harking back to thinking of? And obviously, it's the past is big.
I would definitely join the early 2000s because I really like the time, the era, and the time where I was born.
Yeah, what was happy about that period? Because I was there. Yeah, but
Yeah,
what?
even though I was like barely a very young child at that time, and I don't really remember much of it, but I don't know. I think it was like the beginning of a new era, going from
Mm,
90s to a
mm,
totally different century. And
mm,
I also like the aesthetics, the style. I think the people were becoming more open-minded and all of that.
mm, mm. I missed that. Yeah, I was there, but I didn't feel any of that, but that's fine. Okay, Mariam, thank you so much. So this is the end of the thought experiment. Um, let's now go to Tom's Midnight Garden. Tom's Midnight Garden is also a trip or a journey, okay? But it is a trip and primarily to the past. Go to the past and do something. Of course, you don't go to the past because you want to go to the past. According to the logic of the novel, you don't go to the past because you wanted to. It's all a sheer accident, okay? So your point of departure is the present, and then you go to the past, and then through the experiences that you get in the past, you are ready to accept the present and possibly the future. This is the whole trajectory of the novel. So I mean, our point of departure, like I said, is the present, and the present compels something in the present compels us to go to the past, and we stay in the past for some time, and then go back to the present, accept the present, and also poise for the future. Again, this is the whole trajectory, like I said. So before we proceed, I would like somebody, those who have read the novel or perhaps listened to it, I would like you to come and give us the plot. So, what happened when, who, let's leave the why because the why is about significance and value, and this is something that we're going to talk about later. So, who is ready to come and tell us or to give us the plot? Again, the reason why I'm asking this question, or perhaps ordering you or asking you to do that, is that I would like everybody to be on board. So when we talk about theory, when we talk about analysis and discussion, we are sure that everybody knows what the story is about. So who is going to volunteer and tell us about that, the plot? So who do we have in the novel? What they do and where they go. And then, like I said, the significance is something that we'll talk about later. Mariam, you said that you have. No, I don't. I want somebody to come to the mic and share with us. The idea of us being sidetracked to the chat area is no. It's very disruptive, even. If you would like to come and share, come and share. Yeah, Sadim, would you like to come and tell us the story? Obviously, I'm using story and plot interchangeably when they mean two different things, but you know, I'm being liberal with these two terms, obviously. Mariam, I was asking Mariam Ali, because you said that you have listened to an audio version of the novel, right? Mm, okay. So let me share what I have. I have the plot, and I'll give you like a couple of minutes to read it on your own, and then we go from there. No, this is not what I want. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is obviously the cover of one of the editions. So it's Tom's Midnight Garden. And I would like you to read this. And then when you finish, you will read this and this. And that will be it. Yalla, go ahead. Okay, so now that we have read the plots, so let me ask you about your experiences with this kind of slip narrative. We call it slip narrative when there is this um, migration to the past, if you like. So have you read something similar?
For
Or
me,
some
no.
of you? Okay, Mariam haven't. Anybody else? And I know that
I
some of
did.
you. Yeah. Just to remember
I
the
watched
name. Yeah, go ahead, Yuri.
I watched a movie like that when
Mm,
she becomes no, she was younger and he
mm,
was older. And
mm,
then in the future he got younger and she
mm.
got older.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it's like a variation on that. Yani, with a little tweaking here and there, which is typical of the cinema. Sometimes you have an idea developed in a novel, but when it goes to the cinema, they tweak it because you will have another, uh, um, kind of writer, if you like. You would have the director having his or her own vision, and they tweak things a little here and there. And okay, that's interesting. Anybody else? Okay, fine. So, what did you? What's the plot? I would like to again make sure that you guys understand what is happening in the novel. So somebody comes to I would like somebody to come to the mic and tell us the story now that you have read a summary of it now together.
So basically, it's about a boy named Tom who moves for a temporary time with to his aunt and uncle because his brother got the measles, which is a disease. And
Mm-hmm.
suddenly he encounters, once the night arrives, there's a Victorian era garden appears, which only he can see, and it appears only at night. And once he visited, he eventually meets a girl named Hattie, who is turns out to be a ghost from the past. But actually, as the story proceeds, it turns out that this girl is actually the present day Mrs. Bartholomew, which is an old woman.
Yeah, this is analysis, but let's stay away from analysis and focus on what yani our eyes meet or see. Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mariam. Okay. So this is basically um, what the whole thing is or is about. The idea that you have Tom, who happens to be the main character, the protagonist, moving to the countryside, to a country house, for some specific reason, the fact that his brother contracted measles, and this is obviously infectious. So, in order to not for him to contract the disease, obviously his brother is the one who has the disease. His family opted for him to go to another part of the town or city so that with his uncle and aunt so that he can avoid this measles kind of thing. So obviously you're separating two brothers who are obviously very close in terms of age, and obviously they are very intimate. So the boy, when he goes, Tom, when he goes to his uncle's house, he feels isolated, he feels alienated, he feels lonely. Um, he is confined to a place in the flat, which is obviously very drab, not very big, not very beautiful. And there has to be an escape from this, otherwise he's going to go mad. And going mad is obviously my interpretation of the thing. So he he wants to go out of this mood. So he looks out of the window, and he at night he sees a garden. The garden wasn't there in the first place. When he first came, there was no garden. And all of a sudden, a garden opens and appears, and he walks into the garden, and obviously, a whole world opens up for him. The garden is magical. He obviously, uh, it's very beautiful and everything, typical of gardens, but it wouldn't be very livable. It wouldn't be very entertaining if it doesn't have people. That's why we have um, a playmate for him, Hattie. Hattie is his playmate. She's when we first see them, they are perhaps the same age. And then Hattie takes him with her to her past. And her past happens to be a couple of generations earlier, and this happens to be the Victorian age. And he moves around in the Victorian age. He gets experiences, and there is this idea that Hattie, or through Hattie and her narratives about her past, he gets to know more about life and the traumatic experiences that she went through. And it's out of those sad and traumatic experiences that he learns a lesson or two. And then there there comes a time when the garden will be no more. So he will have to come back to the present, wake up to his senses, and then decide to move forward. So he is going to learn a lesson or two. The lesson here would be about accepting reality, accepting the linearity of life, the fact that we don't have control Z in life, the fact that there is no obviously you have to live in the present. The past may be beautiful and everything, but this is past. It's over. So he learned that he learns acceptance. He learns how to develop stamina and accepts what uh, he didn't accept in the past, and perhaps getting ready for the future. And the future is about growing and growing is good and everything, but there we know uh, there is um, a limit to this growth. I mean, there comes a time when growth is no more, and you arrive at your final destination, which is another way of saying it's death and decay. So this is the message that perhaps we're taking away from the novel, the idea that no matter how beautiful the past can be, no matter how nice historical figures can be, no matter how uh, um, beautiful and sweet the sensations are, you cannot live in the past. You have to uh, come back to your senses, live in the present, and prepare for the future. Um, it's not presented in a moralizing way, like I'm framing or reframing it, but and I shouldn't, by the way, I shouldn't have said what I said, because I should have left it all to your own discretion and your ability to interpret. Again, these are the core ideas and the core values that we're going to take away from the novel. The idea of acceptance, the idea of acknowledging the fact that you cannot live in the past. You have to accept the present and prepare for inevitabilities in the future. Um, so this is what we're doing, and before I proceed further, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then when we come back, we talk more about Tom's Midnight Night's God. I'll see you in 10 minutes, inshallah.
دكتور. دكتور احنا خلصنا الكلاس ولا ايش؟
Now we have 5 minutes break. Sorry, 10 minutes break.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, can you hear me? Back?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what do you make of uh, all of that? I mean, the idea that we have this storyline where we have a kid moving from one place to another, and then moving from one era or one time to another. Again, the moral cannot be missed. Okay, so you go wherever you go. You may fly to the sky. You may go with your imagination to the future, or perhaps you dream of something in the past. But we're stuck here, obviously. So unless we accept the reality that we are in, it's going to be very difficult for us. So you may go to the past in order to get some kind of fuel. I mean, you go to a beautiful past, you get inspired by it, and then this inspiration can help you in your present, and it can also, like I said, prepare you for the future. So it's about developing this um, immunity, if you like, stamina, because obviously life in the present, at least from a 21st century perspective, is not very beautiful. So you need some kind of fuel. You need some kind of morale raising. So perhaps that can be provided by the past. Childhood memories that you hold to, that you love. But obviously, staying in the past is not an option. You will have to come back to the present, and with the amount of moral um, and perhaps spiritual ammunition that you now have from the past, you come to the present and you can face up to whatever uh, uh, bad experiences you may be experiencing. Um, so it's about, you know, um, being able to grapple with life issues in the present. Okay, so ideas that we'll be talking about all the time with this novel is the idea of time slip or slip narratives or time slip narratives where you have this migration to the past. Again, this is not without precedent. This is something that it has a whole tradition. Um, and it has, I mean, that's the typical trajectory. We have seen examples of that. The idea of having magical stuff happening, magical props like a garden or a carpet is also part of the literature. I'm sure you have read, you know, tales and stories where you have this magical stuff happening and magical props used. Um, so when we talk about time and this time slip narratives, we talk about two different types of time. We talk about linear time, and this is obviously traditional, and we talk about non-linear time. Non-linear time means that you have with linear time you have this usual trajectory where you move from the past to the present to the future. This is linear. Non-linearity means that you may be in the present and then you go to the past and then you go to the future. You are in a point in the present and then you go to the past or you go to the future. This is non-linearity, and this is not what normal life is. So which of them, which of those two time systems is the usual one? From our experience, obviously, it's linear time, where we know the trajectory. We start in the past, and then we move to the present, and then live in the present and through the present, and then we go to the future. And there is a point where everything is over. This is linearity. What is not linear would be this idea of jumping from the present to the past to the future. And obviously, it is done for reasons. Linearity is something that we're too familiar with. This is the trajectory of our lives, right? But non-linearity is where the message is. Again, non-linearity is what happens perhaps to provide the comfort that we need if we go back to the past, hypothetically. Non-linearity is also a philosophy. It's a postmodern philosophy where obviously time in its linear form is a meta narrative or a grand narrative, and postmodernism is about challenging all existing narratives. Talk about religion, you talk about the Enlightenment, you talk about European civilization. These are all meta narratives that postmodernism is set to challenge, and perhaps the linearity of time is one of those meta narratives that postmodernism seeks to demolish and challenge. So we will have time to talk about this idea of opposition between linearity and non-linearity in the novel. So when you have non-linearity, and this is actually happening in the novel, you need to stop and think why we don't have this normal trajectory. We don't have this usual kind of narrative where the narrative moves in a linear way from the past to the present and then to the future, where you have the happily ever afters, right? Um, Another very important aspect of the novel is and would be the background of the novel. And when we talk about background, it means that we need to think of when the novel was written and what kind of atmosphere, whether it's sociological, political, economic, cultural. And Tom's Midnight Garden was published in 1958. And when we go and check, obviously we're talking about the 50s of the past century, the 20th century. And when we go and dig deep, we're talking about the time after the Second World War. So we need to know about the Second World War and what happened in the Second World War, and who was fighting with whom, and who achieved victory over whom. Does it make a difference? Absolutely. So when we talk about Tom's Midnight Garden, we're talking about a second or a post-Second World War classic. And we will see echoes of this post World War era, echoes in terms of perhaps the feelings that people have and exhibit. And again, the idea that um, the narrative shifts to the past can tell us a great deal about what kind of reality the people were living in the 1950s. And obviously, if you decide to write a novel and to go with this novel back to the past, obviously, you're not too happy with the present. So we need to dig deep and check what was happening in the present. We're talking here about the 1950s. And what was happening in the 1950s in post-war Britain? So first of all, we need to talk about the war, the Second World War, where you have two camps, obviously. We're talking about Britain and France and the USA and Russia on one side, and you're talking about Germany and Italy and Japan on the other side. And obviously, um, the allies or the allied group or camp won. I'm talking about the USA, Russia, Great Britain, and France. They won the war, obviously. They emerged victorious. And being victorious means that you have done quite an achievement because not not winning would have meant a lot for the English. And not winning, which means being defeated in the war, would have perhaps meant that the English would be speaking German, and the French also would be speaking German, not English. They won eventually with the help of the USA and Russia. And um, so what happens is that it is true that they came or they emerged victorious, but then a whole infrastructure was demolished. Of course, you know, Germany, and they were raiding the London and the other cities, and they pretty much demolished the whole infrastructure. And obviously, reconstruction takes time and takes money, which is obviously something that successive governments after the war in Great Britain didn't have. So obviously, you come on a ticket as a government, as an elected government, you come on a ticket of achieving prosperity for people, removing those traumatic images of the war by spreading welfare, by making people happy, by creating jobs. So obviously, people in Great Britain after the Second World War didn't see any of that happening. So they felt alienated, they felt disillusioned. And of course, you have writers who express those feelings. Writers are sensible and sensitive enough of all the population, writers and artists, and creators are the ones who give voice to an otherwise silent mass. So people may have disillusionment and frustration, but they don't have the means to express that. So writers take up the mantle and they do the job for them. So they write novels and poems and they create paintings and they draw and they make films that express those uh, um, disillusionments and those deep sense or senses of alienation that people have. So, Tom's Midnight Garden can be regarded as such. It can be an anti-establishment novel, a novel that expresses the disillusionment and the frustration of uh, the people of Britain after the Second World War. They were promised the world, they were promised welfare, they were promised jobs, uh, renovation and innovation, and obviously this didn't happen. So the idea that part of the novel is set in the Victorian age, the idea that the characters decide to go all the way to the past is not without its significance. This is very significant, and it means that people were not so happy about the current or the then current state of affairs. They were not happy. Again, you would ask, of all the past eras, why would the writer choose the Victorian age? Again, you need to know that the Victorian age is the closest in terms of time to the 50s, and also because it's the peak of the British Empire. The fact that the Victorian age is a time when there was obviously prosperity because of the expansion of the British Empire. They have rich colonies in India, in um, in the Caribbean, and also in Africa. There were high levels of education. Literacy was high. I mean, the rates of literacy, obviously. So this was a green world for some people. Yeah, there was this sense of plenty, stability. Queen Victoria, I mean, lived and ruled for over 70 years, which means that you have political stability, which means that you have visions that get sustained, you have projects and initiatives that are sustained and pursued and completed and finished. So obviously, the choice of the Victorian age was not without its reasons. Um, Again, the novel, um, of all the places and of all the times, chose to shift back to the Victorian age, with all the good things that we have said about the Victorian age. So obviously, Hattie belongs to the Victorian age, while Tom does not. Obviously, Tom is a byproduct of the late 50s. So obviously, he represents the disillusioned masses during that time, people who felt betrayed by the repeated promises and pledges of the successive governments of the time. So this is how we should see or look at the fact that of all the past periods, the Victorian age was chosen. Again, it was an example to follow, it was a model, and it was, or it provided this, uh, um, this sense of nostalgia. So, harking back to um, a happy old age where life was plentiful, uh, you know, everything is obviously or was obviously good. A luminous time, green and everything. A utopia, if you like. Um, Again, we're stressing the fact that going back to this beautiful past is well and good, but you cannot stay there. This is perhaps the message. You can get inspired by it. You can get the you can get your morale raised by getting inspired by it, but you'll have to leave it at one point and go back to the drab present, more perhaps more refreshed, stronger than ever, being able to face up to the sad realities on the ground. We'll talk more about that. Um, يعني part of the effort would also be about the connection that has been forged between Tom and Hattie, and also the instrumentality of Hattie. The fact that Hattie is very instrumental in any transformation happening to Tom. Had it not been for Hattie, you wouldn't have had that transformation that we're witnessing and experiencing with Tom. So let's first of all agree on this kind of transformation and see how Hattie was instrumental in all. The transformation is mainly noticed when you look back and see the grumpy Tom of the very first few lines and chapters of the novel and how you see him at the end. So at the beginning, he's not happy with uh, the reality, the fact that he was separated from his brother. When he goes to his uncle and aunt, obviously, um, there were, you know, I wouldn't say large scale discussions, but low level kinds of discussions that the uncle and the aunt on one side and Tom on the other engage in. And out of those discussions, we come to realize that they are on different wavelength. They don't speak the same language, unfortunately. Different generation. They obviously belong to the old generation, and Tom belongs to a different generation, a younger one. Um, a younger generation that believes in the imagination and the power of the imagination. A younger generation that believes that we shouldn't be stuck with time, linear time, as we all know. Uh, a younger generation that is flexible in his views about and their views about science, and you have an old generation that is so stuck in the old ways, not ready to uh, to accept what the new generation is proposing in terms of ideas. And so you would have this generational gap happening between the old generation and the young generation. Again, uh, because of Hattie and the experiences that she went through and that she related to Tom, Tom comes to the realization, and this is one of the things that he learns from Hattie. He comes to the realization that, yeah, there are things in life that you cannot change. So when we meet him at the end, we see him more accepting of the ideas of his uncle and aunt. He is more accepting of them, their personalities, their attitudes, and moods. Again, this is a change that wouldn't have happened had it not been for Hattie. So again, I'm coming back to the idea that Hattie is so instrumental. So the question here now is, would we consider Hattie a catalyst in the development of Tom? Yeah, absolutely. She is a catalyst. She's a real catalyst. She's not a mere character or a mere playmate that has been created in order to give him company and to entertain him. No, her role is way bigger than that. It's about giving him the human connection that he lacks. Again, human connection in a post Second World War world where human connection seems not to matter much. So that would bring us to the idea of the title. The title of the novel is Tom's Midnight Garden. And we have established the fact that Hattie is so very important in the development that is happening to Tom. She's very instrumental in changing him and his ideas, in transforming him. So why the title? Why is the title still about Tom and not about Hattie? So the title as it stands now is Tom's Midnight Garden. So wouldn't we suggest that it it should be perhaps reframed as, if not, if we cannot give or feature, if we cannot feature Hattie in the title, at least if we cannot give the title to its legitimate owner, the one who should lay true claim to the title, which is Hattie here, at least she should be there on the title. So one scenario would be that it's Hattie's Midnight Garden. This is one possible scenario where we can reframe the title and it can be Hattie's Midnight Garden, and she deserves that. Or at least we can have Hattie together with Tom on the title, right? What do you think of this thought? Um, I would like you to keep reading the novel so that you can, and we'll answer this question at the end of the classes on Tom's Midnight Garden. I would like you to tell me whether um Hat is laying claim to the title and to being part of the title is legitimate, is deserved, or perhaps this is kind of no, not necessarily right. Think about that. Keep reading the novel. Again, before I leave, and I think I told you that we may also have access to the YouTube channel that I have, where you can have archives of recordings of past semesters. We haven't changed much, so you will not feel alienated or lost over there. It's the same thing. Let me see if I can share. So it's Vidya Applied English Labs. Can you see that? Hello?
Yes.
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 Okay. So here is the, let's go to the playlist or playlists where you will have EA300. If you see it, let me know. Huh? EA300. Where is EA300? Yeah, this is EA300A B master classes. This is from the last semester. Okay. And you also have EA300B fall. This is last semester. And I think we also have EA300B summer. Okay. So I'm sure you're going to find out. We also have master classes from a past semester, EA300B. So you have a lot of material that you can use when you study for the course. Again, let me see if I can share the link right away. This is obviously the link. Okay, let me put it here. So the link is here. Did you see the link? Okay, it's in the chat area, everyone.
Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Okay, so I think I'll stop on this note and with this item. Let me just remind you of the fact that we have a master class on Thursday at 3 p.m. inshallah. Any questions before we call it a day?
Doctor, I have a question, but about another course.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Let
got
me
the
let me
approval
let
for.
let me stop the recording because it's about something else. Hmm.